Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. As good as that recruiting class has been, the transfer class has been for Ohio State's offense and all across the board, I don't see how that's going to be enough to help Ohio State. There is a reason why I picked Michigan, despite losing basically their whole team, to still go to Columbus and beat Ohio State. I'll tell you why. There's been a reoccurring theme for Ohio State and Ryan Day since about 2021, when all the COVID and all that was pretty much gone, when you had all the starters wanting to play and you had a regular schedule again, all that stuff. Ohio State is still not good on the lines of scrimmage from 4 quarters. I'm sorry, that's what it's been. Look, I'm not even wearing the Michigan shirt. I'm wearing a Conor McGregor shirt. Conor McGregor has nothing to do with college football. Okay, the subject anyway. But look, Michigan has always, even before they did the sign stealings, they were always tough on the lines of scrimmage. Okay? And to be honest, talent is not a problem for Ohio State. Travion Henderson, all those players that they've had, that's not the issue for Ohio State. Offensive line, defensive line play for Ohio State has been a problem. It was still a problem this past year when they almost and should have lost to Notre Dame. They did struggle with Penn State. They couldn't just blow them out and put them away. They should have beat Penn State more convincingly than what they did. Okay, that's what it is. Michigan beat them like they did because of the line of scrimmage. Now, if you look at the running game they had 150 yards rushing. That's not overwhelmingly too much, but Michigan went for it 3 times on 4th down offensively. 3 times, and 3 times they got it. Blake Corum had 2 rushing touchdowns. He didn't get 100 yards. He was healthy, but he had 2 rushing touchdowns, and the second touchdown he scored was a backup guard after Zinter got hurt on the very first play after he got hurt. He also scored on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line, and Ohio State couldn't stop it. Ohio State also allowed Michigan to run the ball down their throat for 7 or 8 minutes of the 4th quarter, and then leave them a minute left to score, and it wasn't enough. So they ended up beating them 30-24. That's been a reoccurring theme for Ohio State. So while I do believe Ohio State's going to have a really good football team, and talent-wise they should beat Michigan, they've always had better talent than Michigan, ever since Jim Harbaugh was there. And even lately, they've been recruiting better players, and they've still been playing good football. They still have not beaten Michigan. So that has nothing to do with the sign-stealing stuff, okay? And I'm going to make a separate video about that later. But in my opinion, Michigan has just been tougher and has played more disciplined football than Ohio State. So they can have Judkins at running back, they can have a new quarterback, they can have whoever they want. They are not beating Michigan. If Michigan has their defensive coordinator who has the same scheme, if Michigan's football team is just as disciplined as they were with Harbaugh, and if they still execute at a high level and don't turn the ball over, because that's what Michigan was also known for, not turning the ball over. So as long as Michigan stays that way, there's no excuse for Ohio State. So again, and not just Michigan, but teams like Notre Dame, who had success against them in games. Oregon did what they did to them a few years ago. Penn State is not better than Ohio State, but they've had competitive games with them. Why? Offense, defensive lines. Missouri beat them the way they did, not just because they didn't have a quarterback, but if you look in that 4th quarter where it really mattered, Ohio State got pushed around. Sorry, but that's the truth. They didn't get much running on the ground because they're not tough on the lines of scrimmage. So what tells me that's going to change that? 2024 is a big year for Ryan Day, and I don't think he can do anything different. I'm sorry.